stock's down. The Dow's down about 700 just minutes after the opening bell. Let's bring in ABC's chief business correspondent, Rebecca Jarvis, for more on that. Rebecca, what do you make of what we're seeing?
So as you can see, there is a lot going on that's got people thinking about their situation. There are federal employees that are being fired, and there are stock market trends that are trending downward. There are the natural disasters going on. There are a host of things that are happening that have gotten us really thinking about moving abroad. So if you're interested in moving abroad, stick with this video. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what we have to offer to help you in thinking about doing that. So a lot of times folks need some sort of guidance or whatever. Well, our family has lived 3+ years on the continent of Africa. If you're new to our channel, we were in Rwanda for about a year. We've been to Uganda, been to Tanzania, and we purchased properties in Zanzibar, multiple properties, and that's where we're filming from right now, as a matter of fact. My wife and I are retired, and we have our sons here with us. Our grown sons are working as digital nomads and working on this channel also. We get a lot of comments from people about, where should I go? What should I do? So we are offering 3 Easy Steps workshop, as you can see. What is it? Well, it's going to be an opportunity for you to ask us questions and get your answers. It's in a live format via Zoom call. When is it going to happen? What's going to happen? Sunday at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. The 18th of May, that's when it's going to occur, all right? And who is this for? If you're just thinking about moving abroad. Did I say where? No, I didn't say where, because we've kind of found out that there's principles that are at play that people need to think about in terms of moving abroad. We've also had people participate in our consultations and workshops who are maybe not coming to the continent of Africa, they're just kind of exploring things. We've had individuals who are using it to move to Latin America and also Costa Rica. They notified us, oh my goodness, a couple years ago and said, this is great stuff here. It can help the expat community here. And so we were like, whoa, okay, of course. And so that's what's going on. What does it look like? Might be your next question. So when we say 3 easy steps, and I mentioned principles, what I'm talking about is, how about you get your mind right, get yourself financially, get your money right, get yourself financially sustainable there, and then you're ready to move right. So we start with, why are you moving? How ready are you? Do you know what kinds of thoughts, questions to ask yourself? And you might be asking, well, how did you come up with these? Well, we took notes and journaled what we were doing while we were doing it. And I also happen to have been certified as a trainer and facilitator, as well as personality assessment and looking at building systems to help individuals, whether it was in corporate America or whether it was with the government, where I worked for over 20+ years. That's what our family does. My wife also homeschooled our children for 25 years, so we got a little bit of experience in educating people. For those who are real nerdy, think about adding, where you do some kind of analysis, you design, you develop, you design, you implement, and then you evaluate, okay? So we help you with getting your mind right on things that you need to be thinking about. What about your family? What about your health? What about things like that? And getting you ready to exit America. Budget. All right, so have you thought about the fact, because a lot of people ask us about getting a job and things like that. Many countries are not set up that way. You need to be thinking about starting your business now before you depart the United States. You need to think about your business now before you depart your origin country right now. And that might include making sure you've eliminated all debt, making sure you got your money in the next phase, which is where your money, makes more money. You need to think about that. You also need to think about the cost of living of where you currently are compared to your target city country where you're going to be. And so we help people to find that out because you also need to know how to do it yourself, which leads me to the last area, which is research. So we're showing you how to do things. We're not just giving you answers because people's goals change and their target locations change. But we do teach you about researching on visas, helping you to find community. It's so easy, but I realize you don't live doing this. Maybe you're an engineer, as I was in private industry at one point in time. Maybe you're focused on grant management. Maybe you're focused on law. That's your focus. Your focus hasn't really been on this project, and I'm calling it a project because it has a beginning, a middle, and an end. And the end is when you land where you're going to be and you're happy there. So that's why it's a project. You may not have focused on doing this. It's a lot different from planning to live somewhere versus taking a vacation somewhere. So we help you to research on important things like target country and finding others to interact with. All right, so here's another picture of it. And no, I'm not going to read these things to you, but as I said, there are like 3 major components we work with, and that is your mindset, your money, and doing the move. And I started talking about some of the items that were involved in each one of these pieces. And the idea you need to understand is from a point of view of mindset. Let's just talk about culture. One thing I learned in helping in team building and moving organizations forward is culture eats strategy for breakfast. In other words, the mere fact that you may or not know that you need to cover up your toes even if you're a male in a government building, or that maybe you need to have an attitude of relational versus transactional, which we tend to be if you're in the States. We tend to be more transactional, whereas I'm seeing in other countries, that may even include the fact that I was in Bermuda and other places, it's relational. So we talk a little bit about that. So and have dialogue with you so that you really have that in your understanding. Believe it or not, maybe the passport, maybe the visa thing isn't your hard lifts. The hard lift is what it's like when you need to interact in that particular country and you realize they take their time about doing things because they have plenty of time, and you're from New York and you're used to let's get it done. And you find you can't get what you need done. It was the culture, not the particular technical thing. Money. So we talk about how to prepare your finances, and I really wish I had a workshop like this. We attended some workshops and we paid money to attend them, and I learned a lot of things. But in terms of, there were little nuances that found out where I could have saved probably about $1,500 to $2,000. And so we're going to share some of those things with you in the workshop, which is really a benefit to be able to know those kinds of things. Lastly is the move itself. And some of the things that aren't considered, they're who you are. For example, people will ask us, well, why did you move from Rwanda to Zanzibar? Well, that's a great question, but I think they have a hidden agenda at times of, as sheep, I'm just going to follow another sheep. I'm going to follow the crowd. I've been asked questions, we've been asked questions like, which country has the best GDP? Which is technically this and that? But they're never taking the time to find out what it is that's important to them. What do they care about? Because what may be important to me probably isn't important to you. What might be a deal breaker for me probably is not a deal breaker for you. So you have to take the time. And I found out that taking the time to find out what you really want That's a very difficult thing for people, extremely difficult. I found that when assisting federal employees with movement in the federal government, that they would spend more time planning a 2-week vacation than they would doing detective work, investigative work to find a new agency to work at where they might be the next 5, 10, 20 years. Why is that? I don't really know, but I'm telling you, it's little nuances like that that we need to work through. We actually provide you with some handouts. That's the bonus. So we want you to know that things are available for you, that you can use, that you can refer back to. And so it will help you get your mind right, get your money right, and that way you move right. So what is it again? Well, it's the 3 Easy Steps workshop. It's going to be a live Zoom session. It's Sunday, May 18th, 12 noon. That's 12 noon p.m. EST, Eastern Standard Time. And who's it for? People who might just be thinking about moving abroad, because you don't want to wait till the last minute and say, well, I'll do it when I got 3 months out. No, some of the things that we give you in terms of preparing, they might be what to do a year and a half out, 6 months away, and then 2 months away. So you need a long runway to give yourself time to react to some of the things that might include getting an international driver's license or getting your police clearance, okay? So that's what we have for you. We look forward to seeing you. Hey, write down in the comments what areas you have comments about, what areas you have interest in. Let us know. That's what we offer. Visit our website at AwakenWithMark.com and find out more about us. Also click on our testimonials. These are actual individuals who completed the workshop. Some have already begun doing their scouting trips. Some have already moved to various countries. So go ahead and click on that and watch them so that you get an idea of what we're talking about. Thank you. Awaken with Mark is a channel that is charting the journey of our family. It's what happens when an African American family relocates to the continent of Africa. And I'll tell you what happens. We start winning. That's what happens.